So today in class we learned about the Live Paint Bucket tool, which allows you to color overlapping shapes and strokes individually as though they're separate pieces. So we're going to start off with our check for understanding here, and I've already given you the pre-made shape, so we're going to zoom in. What I'd like you to do is fill in this color with the Live Paint Bucket tool. Now I have my Live Paint Bucket tool out already, but yours will not be part of your default toolbar. So we know we're going to go to the All Tools drawer, click here and find it, and then just drag it over. It's right up here with the Shape Builder tool. You can grab Live Paint Bucket, and I would highly recommend you grab the Live Paint Selection tool as well, in case you need to modify some stuff. Okay, once you have it there, it'll be a lot easier. Now the next thing that helps really with this is the idea of swatches. Because this tool pulls directly from your swatches panel, I like to have my swatches panel open just so I can see what it's pulling from. So I always just have the swatches right here on the side while I work. Now in order to use this tool, first you have to select all the objects you're going to utilize. Then you have to activate the tool. The letter K is the quick key, and you're going to see that on the right here, it's already activated the none color, the clear. If I use my left or right arrows and up and down arrows on my keyboard, I can kind of swap through it. And if you look on the right side of my screen, I'm literally going through every swatch in my swatches panel. So you can see how these things kind of work together, right? You can also color the stroke, but in order to do that, you need to double click on the tool and hit paint strokes. This is usually by default off. I like it on in case I want to color it. In this case, I left the stroke black, but if you wanted to color the stroke, you would just make sure the mouse turned from a little bucket to something that looks like a paint brush. That's going to color your stroke. You don't have to use the exact same colors I used here, but you do want different colors so you can really see how this is utilized. So maybe I want this to be red and this to be an orange, just so you can see how every piece that was overlapping can now be colored to something totally different if I wanted it to be. Once you're done coloring that shape, you're going to create the next shape. And what you're actually creating in this instance is the RGB model we learned about the other day, red, green, blue. What you'll need for this is 3 ellipses overlapping and the Live Paint Bucket tool. All the colors I used in here should be part of your swatches panel, so you don't have to go looking for them. Step 3 is going to have you creating this really pretty artwork. In this case, I've used 6 circles that are overlapped right on top of each other. Then I selected it all, used the Live Paint Bucket tool, and color them in my own color scheme. But something I did that will be beneficial to you is find the color scheme and place it here. So this is how I did that. I went to the little libraries. I went to, I think I went to nature. All these little libraries are like color schemes you can use. So let's say you really like the blue. All I have to do is click that here, and you see how it shows up on my swatches. That means with the Live Paint Bucket tool, I'll be able to activate these colors. So be sure to use that little library in order to have some really pretty color schemes. Now the last part of today will be a kaleidoscope. I've given you 3 options here, and they're live for you, so you don't have to make each one of these shapes. You can just click it and resize it. So in this instance, let's say I want to do this one. I'm going to make this larger and hold shift, and then I'm going to choose this color scheme I want. I'm going to rely on this blue one, so select the whole shape. It may or may not be grouped. It doesn't really matter in this case, and I'm going to start deciding on the color I want. If you find that the swatches aren't showing up, you can just click on a swatch while you have the tool, and it'll load it for you. I'm going to go down to this blue, start with the dark color on the tips, and I'm just going to color my shape as a really pretty kaleidoscope, and I can get as creative as I want. I can color the strokes, I can do all that stuff, but I'm going to color it in my own color scheme to make this pretty kaleidoscope. Please don't use the colors I showed here. If you happen to finish early, I'd love for you to make a kaleidoscope of your own from scratch. That means really layering your shapes. So in this case, there's a lot of stars and squares and circles on top of one another. It does not have to be as intricate as this, but it should be unique. Good luck.